Bangor. From the Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, authorities are searching for a child abducted from Florida who might have been spotted here in Maine.
Plus, Bangor officials are hearing from local business owners who are frustrated with problems caused by the homeless.
And Jonesport faces a few problems as it considers loosening restrictions on the sale of alcohol. We'll tell you what's happening there, too.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Sounding like a broken record here, kind of like just yesterday. Starting off with another rainy day.
I know, and it's going to be a bit more rain than yesterday, too, I believe, is what Conrad said. But let's throw it over to him.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. Our first weather today is brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all of your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 659-9458. All right, dew points are up there once again today, so it is feeling a bit sticky and muggy outside, but look what happens by the morning hours tomorrow. It starts to drop, and then Friday and right in time for the weekend, same thing into beginning of next week. Dew points will be low, and it will feel comfortable outside. Right now, we do have some increase in clouds, and those clouds are associated with the rain that's moving on in. Lots of rain hovering in the Midwest, the upper Midwest, but this right here will actually start to move up north, and as it does, it will continue to develop and bring a little bit more rain today as temperatures start to rise and hover well above average once again into those mid-60s. Tonight, though, will be very, very mild, close to 25 degrees above our average low for this time of year, around 58 degrees. Rain showers will be sticking around early in the overnight hours and then quickly moving out, but then fog starts to situate, so leave a little bit extra early for your morning commute tomorrow. But then later on, we will have some mostly cloudy skies and then more decreasing clouds later on in the day as temperatures rebound once again into those mid-60s. It will be a little bit breezy outside. Today, though, temperatures will continue to rise as rain starts to move in. Craig and Emma?
All right, thank you, Conrad. Well, in today's news, a missing child from Miami has been spotted at a Walgreens in Holton. The FBI and National Center for Missing and Exploited Children have released this footage of the sighting. 6-year-old Jorge Jojo Morales Jr. went missing on August 27th when his father did not return Jojo after a scheduled visit. Investigators believe that Jojo's father had been planning to disappear with his son for several months, and it's also believed that it is possible they could be in eastern Canada by now. The footage also showed his paternal grandmother, Lilian Pena. Both Morales Sr. and Pena are wanted on felony charges for interfering with custody and concealing a minor. There's also a $25,000 reward for Jojo's safe return, and anyone with information is asked to contact authorities at 1-800-THE-LOST, or you can contact the Miami FBI field office.
The fire marshal's office says a man died after setting himself on fire at a Big Apple convenience store in Poland yesterday morning. Investigators determined that a 68-year-old man drove in and parked next to the pumps. He then removed a gas pump handle and poured gasoline on himself. After walking a short distance away, he lit himself on fire. An employee ran out and extinguished the flames. The victim, though, died as a result of his injuries. The chief medical examiner in Augusta has been notified, and the remains will be examined at a local funeral home.
Gorham police say a man is dead after crashing his motorcycle into a school bus. Police say it was around 3:30 Tuesday afternoon. A motorcyclist crashed into a bus and then a car on Route 202 near the Libby Road. The man was brought to Maine Medical Center where he passed away. Gorham police say it was a Wyndham school bus carrying the girls' field hockey team at the time. The team boarded a separate bus and continued on their journey. On the school's website, it says that they had a playoff game at 5 o'clock in Scarborough, but that was postponed. Now, police are looking for answers. None of the students, though, reported having any injuries. Police say they have an early idea of how that crash did occur.
Preparing to make a left-hand turn from Gray Road onto Libby Avenue. The motorcycle was traveling toward the town of Windham on Gray Road, approaching the intersection. There was a motor vehicle that was stopped behind the school bus, awaiting for the school bus to make the turn, and the motorcycle struck the school bus and bounced off the school bus and struck the car that was parked behind or stopped behind the.
Oh, the cyclist has not been identified at this point. Superintendent Chris Howell says Windham High School will have support counselors at the school today for anyone who feels upset by that terrible crash.
Officials say a car went into the water at the Peabody Pond boat launch in Sebago early Tuesday morning. A man was treated by EMS at the scene. Police say they haven't determined why the car ended up in the water, but foggy conditions may have been a factor. The crash remains under investigation.
2 people from Millinocket have been arrested after a months-long investigation. Christopher Hersey and Tammy McLean were arrested by members of the East Millinocket Police Department on Friday. That after a search warrant resulted in the location of fentanyl and evidence of drug trafficking. The pair is now charged with aggravated unlawful trafficking in scheduled drugs and were transported to the Penobscot County Jail.
Business owners are calling on Bangor City Council to address the growing problem of homelessness. A.J. Douglas spoke to business owners who say they're fed up.
It is so bad right now. You saw my examples of what we're looking at outside my store window.
Monday, downtown Bangor business owners expressed their frustrations with the disturbing behavior from homeless community members to the Bangor City Council.
It's been going on for a couple of years now. I've been assaulted 3 times the last month coming out of my business in the mornings by people stealing stuff in my yard.
I mean, disgusting. People defecating right there. Customers who have told me that they're afraid to come downtown to shop.
Needles that are around my studio are plenty.
Rick Fournier, chair of the Bangor City Council, explained that the city has a homeless response plan developed by the Government Operations Committee, which provides resources to the growing homeless population. The City Council notes the complexity of the issue likely means solutions will take time.
And we do have a plan. It just can't be implemented just overnight. It's a coordination and it's a community effort.
Business owners shared a few suggestions with the council.
We need some kind of immediate task force or something to get over this.
I definitely feel like the needle exchange in downtown is an issue and only maybe makes the problem worse for the users.
No camping, and float the idea of using the former COVID testing facility out there on the base. Put some toilets and showers in that building. Let them out there, let them put the services there and put them there.
Those interested in learning how the city is working to address housing insecurity can attend Government Operations Committee meetings in person or online on the first Monday of each month. In Bangor, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
Governor Mills, meanwhile, encouraged students to get out and vote during a rally at the University of Maine. She was joined by Representative Lori Osher, former state senator Emily Kane, and state Senate candidate Mike Tipping. They discussed the importance of Election Day and why the voices of college students matter.
It really fired me up, and I think there are a lot of real-life issues that affect, everyday people here. And so it's very good to hear someone like Janet Mills talk about that.
Well, Mills, of course, is being challenged by former Governor Paul LePage and an independent in that race. Mills will continue her tour of Maine campuses throughout the week. Election Day is on Tuesday, November 8th, and polls will be open from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m.
If you traveled along Route 2 on your way to school on Tuesday, school or work that is, you may have seen a pedestrian carrying the American flag. Kip Nelson of Bangor walks from Herman to Holden every October 25th in memory of his brother Mike. Nelson says his brother Mikey was a Vietnam vet and former Bangor firefighter who unfortunately took his own life.
And he used to do this down on 1A. He lived on 1A, and he'd walk that for his exercise and for his patriotic demeanor, which he had. He was very patriotic.
Nelson comes from a long line of veterans. He said walking approximately 12 miles on Tuesday in memory of his brother was both an honor and a privilege.
Well, the Maine Aviation Unit is scheduled for deployment next year. Maine National Guard officials say 36 soldiers from the 3rd Battalion 142nd Aviation Regiment will deploy to the U.S. Central Command area in February. The unit operates Black Hawk helicopters and is trained to conduct air assault and support missions. Guard officials say the 142nd will provide air support to Operation Inherent Resolve and Operation Spartan Shield for approximately 1 year. The last deployment for an Army National Guard unit from Maine was in 2018. Good luck to them.
Yeah, well, the time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, the city of Belfast sees the return of a large floating friend in their harbor. We'll check out why when we return.
But first, let's take another look at that forecast. It is a rainy one, too. Heavy rain at times today, right into the night. Tomorrow, it will be clearing out some. We'll have a mostly cloudy day. The highs tomorrow will be in the mid-60s.
I was a public health nurse for 29 years. I went into the homes of my neighbors, including many seniors, and cared for them. Then Paul LePage became governor, and everything changed. He kicked seniors off Maine's low-cost prescription drug plan. He cut a Social Security program when it was needed most, and even opposed Meals on Wheels funding. How cruel is that? We can't go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association. Breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. A fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, and your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. Breakfast bagels are back, but only for a limited time.
The Biden agenda in Washington is hitting Mainers with historic inflation, and Janet Mills is making things worse. Under Biden and Mills, Mainers will pay 72% more on home heating oil. And with family budgets already stretched to the breaking point, Mills has stretched them even further, imposing a grocery tax that increases monthly bills by $60. Maine families simply can't afford Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
Angie's List is losing the list. From now on, it's just Angie.
So what happens to all the people that needed the list?
Oh yeah, everything still works. We just made it better. We even let you book services instantly now.
Start your home project at Angie.com.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Jonesport is taking a referendum question off its ballot 2 weeks before the November election. Matthew Duranczyk has more.
The semi-dry town of Jonesport is looking to serve alcohol 7 days a week. The town was set to put 2 questions on its local ballot next month, but has to scrap one after discovering a mistake in the wording.
When the ballot came forward from our assistant, we signed the ballot in good faith, thinking that it was the exact same language that we had been using along. In fact, not only did our Board of Selectmen sign it, but also the town clerk signed it, and it went to ballot, but there was a Scribner's error in that final version that was not picked up on.
The error was made in the second ballot question where it's supposed to say, quote, shall this municipality authorize the state to issue licenses for the sale of liquor to be consumed on the premises of licensed establishments on Sunday, end quote. Instead of, quote, shall this municipality authorize the state to issue licenses for the sale of liquor to be consumed on the premises of licensed establishments on all days, including Sundays, end quote.
That's the way that it's worded right now, and it shouldn't be worded that way. It should be just worded on Sundays, because the first covers Monday through Saturday.
According to Milliken, Jonesport's residents can buy alcohol at local businesses but cannot consume liquor at dining establishments. Stewart's grocery owner Clifford Norton was unsure whether the question would even pass.
Well, other than me just finding out about this, I kind of felt that the Sunday question was going to get possibly defeated anyways.
Despite this question not making it on this year's ballot, Milliken sees approving the sale of liquor as a step in the right direction.
We need to provide our business owners with every avenue of revenue. Alcohol is a big source of revenue for a lot of restaurants.
And local businesses like Jonesport Pizza Shop would be on board should the town be able to serve alcohol on Sundays.
I think it would be a great idea. We have a lot of people that come in on, through the summer months and want to sit down and have a drink and eat. And we just actually invested in some picnic tables for out back and out front, and I think it would be great.
Matthew Jaroncic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Meanwhile, joy has returned to Belfast Harbour. The large inflatable duck called Joy appeared last August out of nowhere, and it reappeared sometime over the weekend to many residents' delight. Those passing by will notice this new yellow duck has the words Greater Joy written on it. Its color and size make it pretty hard to miss when traveling near the harbor.
I love the humor, the brightness, the cuteness, and the location. I mean, it's in with a load of boats. Very unexpected.
Well, no one knows for sure who is responsible for the appearance of the inflatable rubber duck in Belfast or just how long it will remain there. I think it's pretty neat. Whoever is responsible, good for you.
I agree. I think it's so nice to have things that are nice and make people happy for no reason at all other than that.
Think about the smiles and conversations that's sparking as people head around.
Right.
So.
It's like, what's that for? Oh, just to be nice.
Yeah.
Just to have something bright and yellow in the harbor. Cool.
Job well done.
Yeah, very well.
The time now is 8:15. Coming up after the break, a Boston-based photographer will be down east tomorrow, working to shine light upon an ongoing local issue.
Plus, the city of Ellsworth is continuing their beautification process. We'll get a glimpse of that as Good Morning Maine continues.
I would love to retire. The truth is, because of Joe Biden and Jared Golden's policies, there is no way that I can retire. What Jared Golden does and what Jared Golden says are 180 degrees apart. When Jared Golden goes to D.C., he votes the party line. Gas prices, our groceries. Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse. We need to make a change. We need Bruce Poliquin.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Denture wearers can go wild with wildly adhesive C-Bond denture seals. Get 75% stronger all-day hold thanks to gradual release technology. Go wild. C-Bond, wildly adhesive.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50, but it's gonna take some planning.
What can you do for me?
Make sure your money lives as long as you do. The younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin, he went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here, for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
A new mural has been completed in downtown Ellsworth. Heart of Ellsworth announced that the Water Street mural is completed and is already drawing attention. Painted by muralist Judy Taylor and volunteers, the work of art captures the history of Ellsworth and how it has evolved over the years. Its location was donated to Heart of Ellsworth by Coastal Interiors 3 years ago. Executive Director Cara Romano says this mural really shows off the town and what it has to offer.
A big part of the committee's concept was trying to figure out how we could visually depict what makes Ellsworth so great, what makes Ellsworth special, what makes Ellsworth wonderful, and really trying to convey a vibrancy through our people today and through our history.
The mural was finished in time for the town's 5th annual Art of Ellsworth Maine Craft Weekend celebration that took place at the beginning of the month. Good job by them.
Award-winning photographer Cheryl Clegg is capturing the lives of Maine lobstermen and their families with her camera. This Boston-based photographer has been capturing images in what she calls her family portrait series all along Maine's coast to bring attention to the fight between lobstermen and the restrictions that have been imposed by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. She will be in Stonington on Thursday with a few ideas planned to snap some new pictures of businesses, family portraits, and fishermen at work. She says her photos shine a light on serious issues with thousands of lobstermen and women at risk of losing their livelihoods. Check out her pictures on her website at cleggphoto.com.
Very neat. I can't wait to see the finished product. I know a bunch of the people down there, and they're all going to show up in their fishing gear and bring their families along. And
I know. Those are your stomping grounds, right, in Stonington? There you go.
You know, that's part of our history, what's going on right now. So
there you go. Well, the time is now 8:20.
Let's get a full look at our forecast. It looks like another rainy day on the way. Here's Conrad with all the details.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. Our main weather today is brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all of your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 659-9458. All right, once again, another day where rain just keeps coming on in. Rain, rain, go away, right? But more increasing clouds continue to move in as rain will continue to develop very, very quickly and move up to the north. So we will all get in on this rain. And that rain's actually going to last most of the day today before moving out early into the overnight hours, and then finally we're going to be in a dry weather pattern. So enjoy all of that sunshine with temperatures that will be much, much warmer. We're thinking anywhere from close to 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain in some spots, as Augusta is showing they might get 1.86. That's a rough estimate. There will be locations that will get over 2 inches of rain. We do also have some fog in the area right now, a 2-mile visibility in Bangor. So slow down, leave a little bit extra early for the morning commute. Let's talk about the temperatures, though. Average high around 54 degrees, so we're going to be well above that today. Same thing tomorrow, and then near average pretty much by Friday. And then once again, we climb the stairs back into the 60s starting Sunday. So nice weather will be back. Today, though, temperatures will be in the 60s, but rain will be in the area. So don't forget your umbrellas today. Tonight, though, it will be very mild, very muggy. We'll feel sticky with those temperatures in the upper 50s. Close to 25 degrees actually above our average low this time of year. Rain showers will be in the area really early in the overnight hours and then quickly moving out as fog starts to roll on in. Tomorrow, though, 65 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and then more decreasing clouds later on in the day. It will be a bit breezy, so hold your hats as we do have that northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And our extended forecast outlook does show lots of clear weather ahead. Thursday, 65, then a bit cooler on Friday, and then we start to warm back up by the weekend.
Just in time to send the kids out trick-or-treating.
I know, you won't have to ruin your costume with a raincoat.
Right.
Still much more to come as Good Morning Maine continues.
Easy for you to say. We'll be right back.
The Biden agenda in Washington is hitting Mainers with historic inflation, and Janet Mills is making things worse. Under Biden and Mills, Mainers will pay 72% more on home heating oil. And with family budgets already stretched to the breaking point, Mills has stretched them even further, imposing a grocery tax that increases monthly bills by $60. Maine families simply can't afford Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
This is an important message for everyone on Medicare. Attention everyone on Medicare. Today we are talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans with extra benefits simply not covered under Medicare Parts A and B. That's right, there are people on Medicare but don't have a Medicare Part C plan, which covers everything in Part A and Part B, plus some may include extra benefits only in Medicare Part C. Here's the good news. Everyone on Medicare can call now now during the Medicare annual enrollment period. We will check to see if you may be missing out on a Medicare Part C plan with additional benefits. Call the number on your screen. Don't wait. The deadline for the annual enrollment period is December 7th. Call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. You don't get Medicare Part C plan benefits automatically, so call now before the deadline for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Just call 800-804-9851. 800-804-9851.
I'm Jared Golden. Seeing some Washington politicians try and enrich themselves makes you think of this. That's why I'm working to clean up Congress by banning members from using insider information to trade individual stocks, and why I'm leading the way to stop taxpayer-funded pay raises for Congress. And I'm not taking any PAC money from big corporations that already have too much influence in Washington. I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message to clean up Congress.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. WNBA star Brittany Griner's appeal has been denied in Russia. Appearing in court by way of a video link, she apologized to the Russians and appealed to the court for a lighter sentence. Griner has been held for 8 months so far after she was caught with vape cartridges in her luggage that contained cannabis oil. In the end, the judge denied her appeal yesterday, and now she's serving what remains of her 9-year sentence. The State Department is calling the case a sham and urging Russia to negotiate for Griner's release along with American Paul Whelan. The U.S. has offered to exchange a Russian arms dealer for Griner and Whelan's release.
Kanye West's Yeezy partnership with Adidas was reportedly worth around $1.5 billion. Emphasis on was. Now, it's a thing of the past. The sneaker company dropped West following a string of controversial remarks about Jewish people, which drew widespread condemnation from advocacy groups, including the Anti-Defamation League. Fox's Anna Eliopoulos has the details.
Sneaker giant Adidas is the latest company to cut ties with Kanye West. The sportswear company on Tuesday said it would terminate its collaboration with the rapper and producer due to his recent anti-Semitic comments. The announcement ends a nearly decade-long partnership that had been very lucrative for both parties. Adidas says it's prepared to take losses of almost $250 million. Forbes says Kanye's net worth was, quote, obliterated, taking him off its list of billionaires. In a recent podcast, Kanye claimed his deal with Adidas wasn't in jeopardy, saying, quote, I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?
I think at the end of the day, they really had no choice. Kanye West or Ye, he dared them. Well, they just called his bluff.
Kanye's controversial comments in recent months have turned his brand radioactive. Earlier this month, Twitter and Instagram kicked him off their platforms for a string of outbursts against Jewish people, both Gap and Foot Locker announcing they would no longer carry his products. His former talent agency no longer represents him, and Def Jam, his longtime record company, declined to renew his contract.
He brought this on himself. And when faced with remarks that were clearly offensive, out of step with what's publicly acceptable, anti-Semitic, undeniably prejudiced, he doubled, he tripled, he quadrupled down.
I think Kanye is an idiot, and I'm glad that Adidas dropped him.
Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Well, back in August, the Biden administration boasted that 5 minutes online could save eligible students up to $20,000 in student loan debt. But President Biden's student loan forgiveness package is now temporarily on hold. The program would forgive up to $20,000 for borrowers who are eligible for Pell Grants and $10,000 to those who did not qualify for those grants. Individuals earning less than $125,000 in 2020 or 2021 and families earning less than $250,000 within that same time frame do qualify for loan forgiveness. Several attorneys general in Republican-led states have rejected the loan forgiveness package, though, by suing the Biden administration. Despite the initial lawsuit being thrown out, the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals temporarily paused that loan forgiveness package.
I think that it's probably just a temporary pause, and I do feel as though they are going to be able to move forward with this. It really is once in a lifetime. This has never happened before, and if students qualify for this, it can have a major impact on their future.
Tabor hopes that the historic forgiveness package will boost the conversation for student loan reform.
This number of Americans getting their news and information from TikTok continues to rise, but it doesn't mean it's always accurate. A recent study by the Pew Research Center survey found the number of people getting their news from the social media platform has tripled in the last 2 years. The data shows that 10% of Americans often get their news from TikTok, while 26% of people 30 and younger get their news from the app. That does not mean the information is credible. According to the latest research by NewsGuard, nearly 20 of the videos on TikTok had misinformation.
I think that's kind of a growing trend. The more people are getting their news from social media platforms like Facebook too, and just be careful what you're reading out there, because a lot of times it's created to peddle to a certain group, and it's not always factual.
Absolutely. Yeah. TikTok, like most other social medias now, they use an algorithm to appeal to your interests, because that's good business on their part. They keep you being attentive to the app.
Yeah. TikTok's great for funny little dances and things like that.
Yes, I use it. I will get into a scroll that lasts too long, and that I need to go be like, okay, now it's time to go find something else to do. But
I'll show you some of my TikTok dances sometimes. It's it will change your life.
We can do it over on the set, yeah.
No, nobody should see those. Anyway.
Well, changing gears, still to come on the second half of our show. We have a Monday night traffic advisory for a neighborhood that sees large crowds, annual on Halloween.
You won't have to watch me dance or sing, I promise. Well, maybe I shouldn't promise. It's still early. We'll also check out how a local school is celebrating Halloween. That and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
I think Janet Mills has been a pretty okay governor. Actually, I mean, she's been a good governor. And, okay, I think she's been a great governor. Okay, did I get it right?
Nice work, Angus.
Okay. Now, look, the formula seems to be no partisan brawls, working together with the parties, taking ideas from everybody.
Right. Turns out in this day and age, working together still pays off.
Who could believe it? See? Pretty okay.
I'll take it. Thanks, Angus.
I served our country during the Gulf War. We were fighting for freedom in the Middle East. But in Washington, Bruce Poliquin would take away freedoms Mainers have earned. He voted for a nationwide abortion ban and said he supported changing the Constitution. Poliquin would allow politicians to stand between women and their doctors, even in cases of rape and incest. We didn't fight for our freedoms for politicians like Bruce Poliquin to take them away.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, October 26th. There are 66 days left in the year. On this day in history, in 1774, the First Continental Congress adjourned in Philadelphia. In 1861, the legendary Pony Express officially ceased operations, giving way to the Transcontinental Telegraph.
And in 1825, the Erie Canal opened in upstate New York, connecting Lake Erie and the Hudson River. Today's birthdays include Charlie's Angel Jacqueline Smith, who is 77, TV host Pat Sajak is 76, country singer Keith Urban is 55, and Hillary Rodham Clinton is 75.
I can't believe Jacqueline Smith is 77, almost 80 years old, though.
How long did that TV series go?
I don't remember exactly. It was huge in the 70s and ran for quite a while, and they had some changes of cast. So I'd say, several seasons at least, but it became part of Americans' pop culture back then,
I know.
Enough they made a movie about it years later.
I know, and it came back, the movie later, but now I'm just happy that the style and the hairstyles are coming back now as trends. I love
the wings,
the Farrah
and the big
Fawcett hair. I love that hairstyle, so I'm happy that's back.
I loved Farrah Fawcett too.
I
was a little boy in that time. I think every little boy loved them at that time.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. They're beautiful. Well, I mean, moving on, the weather doesn't look super pretty today, but it's going to change as the days go on.
Hang in there. It won't be long, folks.
Yep. Conrad Sapinski has all the details.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. Our first weather today is brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all of your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 659-9458. All right, dew points are up there once again today, so it is feeling a bit sticky and muggy outside, but look what happens by the morning hours tomorrow. It starts to drop, and then Friday and right in time for the weekend, same thing into beginning of next week. Dew points will be low, and it will feel comfortable outside. Right now, we do have some increase in clouds, and those clouds are associated with the rain that's moving on in. Lots of rain hovering in the Midwest, the upper upper Midwest, but this right here will actually start to move up north, and as it does, it will continue to develop and bring a little bit more rain today as temperatures start to rise and hover well above average once again into those mid-60s. Tonight, though, will be very, very mild, close to 25 degrees above our average low for this time of year, around 58 degrees. Rain showers will be sticking around early in the overnight hours and then quickly moving out, but then fog starts to situate, so leave a little bit extra early for your morning commute tomorrow. But then later on, we will have some mostly cloudy skies and then more decreasing clouds later on in the day as temperatures rebound once again into those mid-60s. It will be a little bit breezy outside. Today, though, temperatures will continue to rise as rain starts to move in. Craig and Emma?
All right, thanks, Conrad. We'll see you a little later on. Meanwhile, Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center is getting into the Halloween spirit.
Medical Center employees from across different departments are participating in a friendly competition, a pumpkin painting contest.
All of the pumpkins can be found in the Penobscot Pavilion lobby at the hospital. Get ready to be amazed by the creativity of the decorations. There's even a Jurassic-sized pumpkin that they say has swept the competition this year.
That's fun. I love the paintings. I prefer to carve a pumpkin.
I like to carve them too. But
that's fun too.
Yeah. Yeah. Creativity, though, anything like that.
Any stuff, yeah, sounds good. Well, and a traffic advisory for Monday, which is Halloween. Hamden Public Safety has released a traffic advisory for Monday, Halloween night. The Constitution Avenue neighborhood will be local traffic only on Monday night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in order to protect the safety of trick-or-treaters.
Although those with accessibility issues due to a disability will also be able to do so, Hamden PD will have an officer on site to assist safe passage of the crosswalk at Western Ave and Constitution Ave during the busiest parts of the night. Free parking for trick-or-treating visitors will also be located across the street in the large rear parking lot next to the Laura Hoyt Pool. So many Halloween things going on. Just a reminder, they have the big one with Parks and Rec tonight at Bass Park in Bangor. Happens early this evening. I think you drive around and you can get candy from a bunch of people and check out some cool trucks too. So
yeah.
Probably something going on in your community too.
Absolutely. I love that they're making room for people not in the community to come and trick-or-treat in theirs. That's really awesome. Hey, and when we return, Tyler Cruz will have the latest in local sports.
Don't go away.
The time is now, New England. Medicare annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Hey, I know the glory of a final second win, but don't leave your health care decision up to a Hail Mary. And now it's more important than ever to have a team you can count on. United Healthcare offered some of the first Medicare Advantage plans in New England and is the only company with plans in all 6 states. Now, with more than 250,000 members, they're the leader. But it's not all about being the biggest. Trust me, I know. Sure, all their plans give you access to top doctors and hospitals throughout New England, as well as the nation's largest network of Medicare providers with no referrals. They're also affordable with $0 premium plans in every state, free primary care visits, eye and hearing exams, and no copays for labs, virtual visits, mammograms, and colonoscopies. There's coverage for glasses and hearing aids, and many plans have comprehensive dental benefits. Beyond the benefits, United Healthcare cares. Whether it's diabetes, heart disease, a disability, a knee replacement, United Healthcare has personal navigators, a single point of contact to help you get healthy so you can live your best life. United Healthcare is also the only plan to offer Renew Active with free gym memberships, thousands of online workouts, brain exercises, recipes, healthy lifestyle tips, and rewards for staying active. There are credits for over-the-counter items like vitamins and aspirins and zero copays on hundreds of prescription drugs. You may even get rewards for routine care like annual checkups and certain preventative screenings, all backed by one of the most trusted companies in the country and the Medicare Advantage leader in New England, United Healthcare. Choose and stick with the plan that is in it for the long game. Find out which United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan is right for you. Call 1-800-236-3146 or visit uhcnewengland.com.
The Maine Black Bears take on the Richmond Spiders this Saturday at 1 on ABC 7.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. For Maine football, they are coming off of a tough loss to Stony Brook on Saturday, and they're gearing up for the final stretch of the season. At 2-5, the wins haven't always been there this year, but one thing that's remained constant lately is Joe Fagnano and the success of the offense. Ryan Sudol has the story.
For Maine football, 2022 has been a roller coaster, and now a heartbreaking 28-27 loss to Stony Brook on Saturday.
Lost a little bit of momentum there coming out of the half, which we try to stress.
We kind of let our foot off the gas a little bit. We can call it what it is.
But Saturday's game proved to be another showcase for the Black Bears' most constant presence, senior quarterback Joe Fagnano.
Every aspect, from throwing to knowing the defense, his preparation and everything, he's A+ in all those categories.
Just his effort and his ability to scramble, find the open man, get the ball to him, really takes command on the field.
Fagnano threw for a career-high 314 yards this weekend, and he has 700 passing yards and 5 touchdowns his last 3 games. But don't just go thanking him.
They go under my name, but as a whole, the offense, those are all the offensive numbers. So really it's just been a full, whole improvement on that side of the ball.
One of these key improvements comes from Fagnano's top target, Sean Bowman. The senior tight end had 130 receiving yards against Stony Brook.
The trust is there. I'm always trusting him that he's going to be where he's at. Maybe I might not be looking his way, but I know, in the back of my mind, he's going to be where he needs to be.
With these key pieces on offense, the Black Bears have scored over 30 points a game their last 3. And they'll need every bit of that offense as they play number 17 Richmond at home on Saturday.
Get some takeaways on defense. We got to limit the amount of explosive plays on defense. We got to be aggressive on offense.
We're going to have to score points. They're a good team on both sides of the ball. That's why they're one of the top teams in the country. So we're going to have to play some of our best football and for all 4 quarters.
For Fox 22 ABC 7, I'm Ryan Sudol.
Looking forward to see what they can do on Saturday. They have 2 ranked opponents in a row, heading to Rhode Island the following week. Let's stay on the subject now. Maine football star and Maine's own Andre Miller is back on the field with the Giants. Miller, who was a standout at Old Town High School and at the University of Maine, has been re-signed by the New York Giants, and he will be joining their practice squad. Miller reportedly impressed at training camp with New York before suffering a broken wrist and requiring surgery. He'll join what is kind of a depleted tight end unit, with Daniel Bellinger reported to miss some time, so there is definitely a chance for Miller to get to see some NFL time this season. Looking forward to see what he can do down there. Let's go to some high school sports now. Quarterfinals kicking off this week. We will check out some girls soccer down in Pittsfield. Patriots from Panquist visiting the unbeaten Huskies of MCI. Huskies up 1 here. Skyla Dean on the corner kick. She's going to get it to Olivia Varney. She finds Emma Burr, who gets around the defense and then fires it home. That puts MCI up 2-0. Brooklyn Decker, though, she was strong in net all game long. She makes the nice high save here off the shot from Morgan Jensen, and then she's going to be in the right place at the right time to turn Varney away, really just leaving it all on the field. Panquist hanging tough, but MCI was tougher. Varney with the left, off the crossbar, right back to Burr, who fires it in, and then it's the same duo. Burr, she's driving, she's going to find Varney, and Varney is going to find the back of the net. The Huskies win big and advance to the semifinals. Let's head to Old Town now. Coyotes and Warriors going at it. First half, Alexis DeGrasse driving. She finds Rhiannon Bousquet, and she is going to fire it home. That's going to make it 2-0 Coyotes. A little Jordan shrug there, too. Still in the first half. This is Kaylee Johnston. She's going to fire the shot off, but a save made from the Warriors. That keeps them in it. Second half now. It's DeGrasse from long range. Gets this one into the back of the net. That makes it 3-0 Old Town. And then it's the freshman, Karina Dumont, getting in on the action. She fires this one again from long range. The Yotes go on to win it. 9-0 is the final. All right, let's head over to field hockey now. High school is already in playoffs, but over at Husson University, they're wrapping up what's been a pretty good regular season. The Eagles have won 4 in a row, and they are unbeaten in conference. A win on Sunday, and they will clinch the top overall seed and home field advantage for the postseason. Anchoring the Eagles defensively has been senior and Portland native Kimmy Goddard. Goddard has started 13 games, made 62 saves, and she's recorded 5 shutouts as well. And on Monday, she was named the NECC Defensive Player of the Week for the 2nd consecutive week. When asked what's working for her, she put it simply, just channeling out those nerves.
Honestly, just trying to deal with the nerves itself. I mean, I've been playing the sport since 6th grade and I still get nervous. So, I mean, just channeling my nerves into how I play and really just focusing and staying focused the full 60 minutes. Really trying to focus in and just playing my game, trusting my defense, and it's just been working.
Definitely has been working. The Eagles are back at it. Like I said, Sunday at home hosting UMaine Farmington, and a win will give them a perfect 6-0 conference record and home field advantage for the NECC playoffs the following weekend. Now, the Eagles have a huge senior class that Goddard calls her second family, and that chemistry is what sets them apart.
I think what's unique is how many starters we do have coming back this year and having the 8 seniors that have been here since my freshman year. I think our team's really close this year. We have 30 girls, a lot of freshmen, but everyone's meshed really well together, and I think it's a great team.
All right, definitely is right there. Looking forward to see what they can do as they close out the season and into the postseason. That is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is an important message for everyone on Medicare. Attention everyone on Medicare. Today we are talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans with extra benefits simply not covered under Medicare Parts A and B. That's right, there are people on Medicare but don't have a Medicare Part C plan, which covers everything in Part A and Part B, plus some may include extra benefits only in Medicare Part C. Here's the good news. Everyone on Medicare can call now during the Medicare annual enrollment period. We will check to see if you may be missing out on a Medicare Part C plan with additional benefits. Call the number on your screen. Don't wait. The deadline for the annual enrollment period is December 7th. Call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. You don't get Medicare Part C plan benefits automatically, so call now before the deadline for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Just call 800-804-9851. 800-804-9851.
I would love to retire. The truth is, because of Joe Biden and Jared Golden's policies, there is no way that I can retire. What Jared Golden does and what Jared Golden says are 180 degrees apart. When Jared Golden goes to D.C., he votes the party line. Gas prices, our groceries. Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse. We need to make a change. We need Bruce Poliquin.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this.
Welcome back, everyone. Have you looked outside lately?
It's drizzling. I just stepped outside to make a call,
Okay.
but it's not raining heavy yet, just a drizzle.
Okay, I guess sometimes today we can expect some heavy periods of rain at times, so just be aware as you're heading out for the day.
It's a raincoat and umbrella day.
Here's Conrad with the details.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. Our main weather today is brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all of your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 659-9458. All right, once again, another day where rain just keeps coming on in. Rain, go away, right? But more increasing clouds continue to move in as rain will continue to develop very, very quickly and move up to the north. So we will all get in on this rain. And that rain's actually going to last most of the day today before moving out early into the overnight hours. And then finally, we're going to be in a dry weather pattern. So enjoy all of that sunshine with temperatures that will be much, much warmer. We're thinking anywhere from close to an inch to maybe an inch and a half to 2 inches of rain in some spots, as Augusta is showing they might get 1.86. That's a rough estimate. There will be locations that will get over 2 inches of rain. We do also have some fog in the area right now, a 2-mile visibility in Bangor. So slow down, leave a little bit extra early for the morning commute. Let's talk about the temperatures, though. Average high around 54 degrees, so we're going to be well above that today. Same thing tomorrow, and then near average pretty much by Friday. And then once again, we climb the stairs back into the 60s starting Sunday. So nice weather will be back. Today, though, temperatures will be in the 60s, but rain will be in the area. So don't forget your umbrellas today. Tonight, though, it will be very mild, very muggy. We'll feel sticky with those temperatures in the upper 50s. Close to 25 degrees actually above our average low this time of year. Rain showers will be in the area really early in the overnight hours and then quickly moving out as fog starts to roll on in. Tomorrow, though, 65 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and then more decreasing clouds later on in the day. It will be a bit breezy, so hold your hats as we do have that northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And our extended forecast outlook does show lots of clear weather ahead. Thursday, 65, then a bit cooler on Friday, and then we start to warm back up by the weekend.
Thank you, Conrad. You know, the good news is it looks like we're going to have mild weather on Halloween. I know some years we've brought the kids out and you've just been freezing out there.
I know, but if it is going to be rainy, we have plenty of indoor events. We're here with Jennifer Munson. She is the museum director for Coal Land Transportation, and she's here to talk about, you have a trick-or-treating event tomorrow, correct?
Yes, we do. From 5 to 8 at the museum, there'll be trick-or-treating for the kids. Families, hopefully we'll have a really big turnout.
Awesome.
And we've got tons of candy and treats and goodies and prizes. And so you can, as you wander around the museum, there'll be volunteers placed everywhere, in costume, of course. So we'll be dressed up as well, passing out candy and hopefully giving people kind of a safe space to come trick-or-treat where there's less of walking up to doors and more of, coming into a whole building where it's kind of indoors, it's maybe a little warmer.
Yeah.
Less rain.
Right. I mean, if it rains, then you wouldn't have to ruin your costume with a raincoat.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
And you mean in costumes, like period appropriate with the certain vehicles that will be there?
A little bit of a mix.
Yeah.
When we did our night at the museum, our volunteers dressed up period appropriate. This time, a couple of them are doing that. However, I did give them free range, whatever you want to dress up, just not too scary. I don't want to traumatize any kids. But just anything that they wanted to be. I think we've got a couple pirates. We've got a couple of different things, so it should be interesting.
And maybe get some more kids in through the door, too. What a great place to maybe learn something while you're there, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole place is decorated right to a T, so we've been decorating for weeks now, so it'll be great.
I know. Our reporter Jody also volunteers there, and she posted a little tease of it. It's very decorated all over.
Yep, her and the family will be there passing out candy as well, so they'll be dressed up and everything. They're very excited to do that.
You said prizes? What kind of games?
Yeah, so some of the we're not going to give out just candy. There's going to be little things like little slinkies or little things like that are in our bags as well. So all the volunteers around the building will have little tote bags full of something, whether it's pencils and rulers to candy to anything. We've got a lot of options. Little vampire teeth.
Cool.
Could have some things that are more than just sweets, I'm sure.
Yeah, I love those. I kept mine from last year. The vampire teeth, the purple teeth.
Well, if you need a new pair, just let me know.
Right, that sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, thank you for coming on the show today.
Awesome.
I hope you guys have as good of a turnout as you did for the Living History Days.
Yeah, the night at the museum we had about 550 people, and the building is definitely big enough to accommodate it, so anyone who wants to come out is more than welcome. And
plenty of candy this time too, right, to accommodate. Yeah.
Yep, and I can't wait to play all kinds of music on our system, so that'll be nice, Thriller, and the typical ones. So
that'll be neat. I saw some pictures. I think you had like a skeleton in the Jeep there.
Yes, we've got a skeleton wearing one of our coal hats in the Jeep. So
good.
Cool.
I think Galen Cole would be very happy about this.
Hopefully it'll be great.
Yeah.
We're prepping the Jeeps. We've got 2 Jeeps to have a competition next week with Maine Veterans Project. We're going to have each Jeep is going to represent a couple of the military branches, and they're going to compete by doing a food drive.
Oh,
so whichever branch you're with, you can put a canned good in the appropriate Jeep and see who wins, who raises the most.
You guys have been doing all sorts of events like that now.
Those Jeeps are already in place, so it'll be much easier to
drop your donations by. Good chance to get out to the Coal Land Transportation Museum. I love the place. I mean, I've been out there many times, and you find something new all the time too.
I still find things that are new.
Yeah.
So
are you fairly new at your position as the museum director?
Yeah, I started there last February, so this will be my the end of a full season for me here in November.
Oh, cool. When does the season end?
November 11th. Veterans Day is our last day of the season.
So this is one of the last times, or will it be the last event?
Yeah, well, we do an event on Veterans Day, kind of a service there after the parade that starts at 1.
Gotcha.
All right, well, thanks, Jen, for joining us today. Head on over to the Coal Transportation Museum for some Halloween fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you won't forget it.
Yeah.
Back with more after this.
I served our country during the Gulf War. We were fighting for freedom in the Middle East. But in Washington, Bruce Poliquin would take away freedoms Mainers have earned. He voted for a nationwide abortion ban and said he supported changing the Constitution. Poliquin would allow politicians to stand between women and their doctors, even in cases of rape and incest. We didn't fight for our freedoms for politicians like Bruce Poliquin to take them away.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
Veterans need a congressman who's got their backs. Jared Golden does. Jared's a veteran himself and worked with Republicans and Democrats to get the VA to build an inpatient facility in Maine to treat mental health and substance use disorders. Bruce Poliquin didn't have my back. Poliquin helped create a commission that wants to close VA facilities across Maine, forcing veterans to travel even further for VA care. Veterans can't trust Bruce Poliquin.
Hear that music? It can only mean breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Imagine a fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, plus your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. That's right, the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and sausage, egg, and cheese bagels are all back, but only for a limited time at McDonald's.
The Biden agenda in Washington is hitting Mainers with historic inflation, and Janet Mills is making things worse. Under Biden and Mills, Mainers will pay 72% more on home heating oil. And with family budgets already stretched to the breaking point, Mills has stretched them even further, imposing a grocery tax that increases monthly bills by $60. Maine families simply can't afford Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
Time to talk about one of my favorite subjects, food.
Mine too.
Yeah.
I hope you're hungry. Let's see what Howard's cooking up.
You know, this is the time of year when we start craving anything and everything with pumpkin in it. And that means we often find ourselves at the store staring at the canned pumpkin, wondering if we should buy pure pumpkin or pumpkin pie filling. Lucky for you, we're here to help. Pure pumpkin is, just as it says, it's simply pie pumpkins that have been cooked down with no spices added. This is used when our recipe calls for us to add spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. On the other hand, pumpkin pie filling is the same cooked and mashed pumpkin, but it's loaded with a bunch of fall spices, which at times is really convenient. Since we're on a pumpkin kick, I can't think of anything better to make than our easy pumpkin bread. We start with canned pure pumpkin, since we'll be adding lots of cinnamon and ground cloves to our batter. And because this recipe makes 2 loaves, you can keep one for yourself and wrap the other one up to share with a fellow pumpkin lover. To get the recipe for our 5-star pumpkin bread, you know what to do. Visit our website. I promise you won't be disappointed. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a purely pumpkin way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Looks good to me.
I'll eat it.
Yeah, right. Well, in just less than a month, NASA plans to launch the rocket ship Artemis 1 into space. It's part of the plan to get Americans back on the moon for the first time in decades.
And training is now underway in the Arizona desert to prepare for these future moon missions. Fox News multimedia reporter Giovanni Liege reports. I got that
For the past 2 weeks, NASA has been working on developing a moon rover and testing one here in the Arizona desert. NASA uses this area because the landscape is similar to what astronauts would see on the moon and eventually Mars. About an hour from the Grand Canyon here in northern Arizona, NASA is working on a moon rover that will be used for future Artemis missions.
We're starting by testing here on Earth,
and then we're moving on to testing on the moon and then using the moon as a stepping stone onto Mars.
The moon rover can crab walk and quickly turn directions. This allows crew to explore parts of the moon with rough terrain. Crew will also be able to live inside of it for up to 2 weeks.
We are contributing in a very small way to determining how to explore the lunar surface and then onto Mars as part of Artemis.
NASA calls it a space exploration vehicle, and unlike the Apollo moon rover, this newer version can let the astronauts go on multiple short moonwalks. This will let the crew explore more parts of